I was very happy and continue to be happy as a physician educator. I've spent more than 4 decades in academic medicine, taking care of patients and teaching healthcare students, medical students and beyond, how to share in the care of patients. But I learned something over my years as a physician. The major challenge in healthcare today is what patients and their families bring to the medical situation with them. So much of the environment in which they live, poverty, the inability to buy good food, to get health care itself, transportation. And you know, as I thought about that, so much of it came down to the need that people have to get a good education. So I ultimately concluded that if I wanted to make the most significant difference to the health care of people, I needed to make a meaningful difference to their ability to get an education. Let me tell you what the USM means to Maryland. We award 8 in every 10 bachelor's degrees in the state, plus 8 out of every 10 undergrads are from Maryland, meaning they're more likely to stay here and contribute to the state after graduation. We educate the state's teachers, healthcare providers, STEM professionals. We drive these job sectors. Every year, the USM has a $10.5 billion impact on Maryland's economy. We support 58,000 jobs, over $500 million in state and local taxes. But when you think about the hundreds of thousands of USM alumni in cities and towns across the state, serving Maryland citizens, providing jobs, investing in their communities, that's when you see our full contribution to Maryland's strength. We've got to make it as doable as possible so that every Marylander that wants a higher education can get one. It means that we as a system have to do our part to make sure that our students coming out of K-12 programs across Maryland are ready for college work. We need to do that better so that our students don't come to college needing remediation. And when we get them to college, we need to hold on to them for dear life. You know, it's a national tragedy that across the country, 40% of people who come to college don't finish. We need to do better at making sure that when students start college, they finish college. But we all recognize that we have a population of Marylanders who have some college, no degree. We need to get those students back, particularly in these difficult economic times, so that they can get the degree that opens up more opportunities for them. Diversity and inclusion, equity, fairness, being comfortable in an environment has never been more important. We've talked about knocking down structural racism for a long time. It flares up from time to time in terms of getting our attention. This time, we need to finish it. And the approach we're taking at the USM is, first of all, not to play the holier than thou, not to suggest that we're fine within our institutions. It's just the world that's a problem. So the first thing that we're doing is looking at ourselves. Do we treat our faculty and staff and students who the family of the USM institutions, do we treat them fairly? Do we make sure that everybody gets the same crack at succeeding, the same opportunity? Do we promote equitably? Do we take people who come into entry-level jobs and do what we need to do so that they can grow within our institution? No, we need to look at ourselves first. And then we need to look at what it is that we do, which we think we do so well, educating and creating new knowledge. How are our curricula with regard to teaching people the history of structural racism, why we are in the situation we're in? Are we teaching that? If we don't teach it, then we're not going to solve it. And then with regard to scholarship, we're supposed to be innovative. We ought to be able to figure out new ways of creating a country in which we treat and respect each other equally. And then finally, we need to look at our service mission. We are powerful institutions. We need to make sure that even if you're not a student in one of our institutions, even if you don't work in one of our institutions, you get the benefit of our institutions. If you're in a community in which our institutions reside, then we need to be making that community better because we're sharing it with you. Who is it that makes up the USM? Over 170,000 students, over 40,000 faculty and staff, thousands of volunteers who help us by serving on our boards, by guiding us, by advising us, yes, by parting with their money. I'm particularly pleased in these difficult times that so many have stepped up to the plate under the aegis of the foundation to help our students. That's what makes the USM. And when you get that kind of energy, those kind of people, from our students to our faculty, to our staff, to our volunteers, to our neighbors, there's no end to what you can do to improve the human condition. Thank you all.